I will say I've never seen this man say a racist thing. I think the attacks are fairly. Why is that funny, Charlamagne?
Hello, everybody. Guys, we have MAGA daughter-in-law of Trump, Laura Trump, with the Breakfast Club. Let's get right into it. This is hilarious.
A lot of people feel that Trump is racist. And what do you say to that? You know, in 73, of course, it was when he got sued for not renting to African Americans. And 89, when he took out the ad in the paper. And I mean, even saying Obama wasn't born here and show his birth certificate. And there's numerous things. So what do you say to that?
Well, I think that's ridiculous. I've known this man for 16 years. And, you know, you can go to each of those incidents and, you know, there was never any proof of anything with the houses that you're talking about.
He settled out for that, though,
yeah,
right?
they settled that. And there was no admission of anything there. You know, Central.
Yeah, that's how settlements work. There's no admission. That's why you settle. But think about it, guys out there. Would you settle for something you know you did absolutely nothing wrong, especially Trump, who loves litigation? That's just insane. I wish you would push back on that a little bit more.
Park 5, there were so many people. You had a Democrat, governor, Democrat, DA who prosecuted the guys, and they admitted to it. There were a lot of people in New York
They were
at that time.
exonerated and freed, and there was never an apology, never sorry, never a my
I will
bad.
say that you have to look at somebody and what they actually have done. And Donald Trump really was very beneficial to the black community when he was in the White House. I will say I've never seen this man say a racist thing. I think the attacks are fairly. Why is that funny, Charlamagne?
I'm just like, it's hysterical. But I mean,
But no, Charlamagne,
because people act like
listen.
there's no such thing as Google, or we don't have TV, we don't
Well,
have
what is
radio.
it that you think that's
The notion. That's why he's laughing. The notion of that. He's recently said that immigrants are poisoning the blood of the country. I mean, guys, listen to what he says with the Haitians and the cats and the dog eating. She's absolutely these people.
that he said?
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
This morning, a bitter backlash after President Trump referred to Haiti and African nations as S-hole countries during a meeting on immigration Thursday.
This remark by the President of the United States smacks of blatant racism.
Here's what I'll say. You know, this is a man who, as I said in the beginning, was beloved by so many people in this country. And he was friends with everybody. You go
A lot
back
of
to
celebrities.
Jesse Jackson, by the way.
Please
his
please
Rainbow
don't do that.
Coalition.
He had black friends. That's not going to work.
No. He let them stay rent-free in one of his buildings. The Rainbow
Guys, he made it so that Obama felt that he had to show his birth certificate in order to get these right-wing lunatics off of his back. Guess who started all that? Trump, saying he had evidence and he had people working on it in Hawaii and stuff like that. Is it any coincidence that the only president in history that ever had to show their birth certificate happened to be black? Come on, guys.
Coalition, because he felt like at the time that was a very important thing. You can go pick apart somebody all you want. It is a traditional talking point to attack Republicans, to call them racist. But when you look at the things that he wants for this country, he wants every person to be successful. He wants black Americans to be successful, Hispanic Americans to be successful, women to be successful. And he worked that way when he was in the White House. And whether you want to talk about actually funding in perpetuity historically black colleges and universities, whether you want to talk about the First Step Act that allowed 30,000 nonviolent felons to be released from prison, who the 1994 crime bill actually put in prison, these are things that really have, I feel like, spoken to a lot of people. But more so than anything, the economy right now is such that I don't care who you are. It is hurting you, and it is something that he wants to fix. He wants every American to have their shot at the American dream. And, you know, I hate that that is the constant knee jerk is Donald Trump is a racist, Donald Trump is a racist. I can tell you he wants every person to be successful. He'll work for every American equally. He did that the first term when he was president, and he'll do it again.
How do you?
Maybe if he stops saying racist crap every chance he gets, then they won't talk about it, right? Like, this is a guy who, think about the things. All right, he recently had Laura Loomer, who was his like campaign advisor, first one on the plane, last one off, saying that the White House is going to start smelling like curry if Kamala's elected. This is why race always comes up, because these people bring up race. It would be nice not to have to talk about race on this channel or in election year. But we all knew this was going to happen. Kamala is a black woman, right? Black and Indian woman. Who didn't see this coming? Come on, guys.
How do you ask Mexicans and Muslims to ignore a lot of the rhetoric, Haitians to ignore a lot of the rhetoric that he said about them, that is dangerous, that has villainized them, that has demonized them?
Well, I would say anyone who's coming to this country illegally, he's very against. And every American should be very
The Haitians were legal migrants. I'll say it each and every time.
against. If you're an American citizen, Donald Trump doesn't care your religion. He doesn't care what you look like. He will work for you, and he wants to make this country safe for you. We should all want a secure southern border. A lot of the comments get misconstrued that he says about people coming here illegally. They're breaking our federal law to come here illegally. And that should be upsetting to everyone.
But when you make these broad generalizations, you do hurt the Haitian Americans that are here, the Mexican Americans that are here. They all get labeled and villainized and demonized.
Yeah, but you know what? I think people are finally seeing through that.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's worth it. That's essentially what you would want to say. Guys, and this whole thing about that they're going to deport millions of people as soon as he comes in office. How are they going to do this? How are they going to determine who's illegal or not? Are they going to stop me in the street and ask me to produce papers? This sounds awfully similar to what the Nazis did.
It's very easy to clip up something like that and say like, oh, let's push this out here. When he's referencing these things, he's talking about people who are illegally in our country. He doesn't want us to have 350 people on the terror watch list here. There's a guy who was arrested the other day, an ISIS member who was arrested the other day who had planned a November 5th election day attack on American citizens. ISIS was eradicated under Donald Trump. We did not even talk about it anymore. He got into the White House and he talked to his top military brass and he said, okay, you guys tell me, how long is it going to take to deal with ISIS? Because ISIS was a big threat. People were constantly talking about it, worried about terror attacks. And they said, sir, it's going to take us a couple years maybe. You know, we have to call the White House every time we want to have some big operation. And he said, how about this? You guys just go do whatever it is you need to do. You don't need to call me. You guys are the experts. I'm not a military expert. You take care of.
All right, guys, I'm going to stop it there. But what I will say is all those guys, all those generals in the military all said that Trump is a danger. He's not fit for office. Some called him a fascist to the core. Like, this is just insane arguments. And as far as the border goes, we all want immigration to be under control. Obviously, we just can't have the doors open and let anyone here. But there was a bill that was put forward by Republicans and Democrats, and Trump blocked it the last minute because he wanted to use it as a way to campaign. And this is what he's using it as, right? They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, and immigration this, immigration that. They're poisoning the blood. This is what they wanted. This is why you guys are called racist. And the supporters who support Trump and hear that and still say, yep, this is my guy, you're going to be labeled racist too. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. If you got something from this, please consider subscribing. Leave a like, comment. It really helps the channel. I usually read all the comments. And I'll catch you on the next one.